the challenge, and we're looking forward to learning a lot more about our immune system this week, how to secure it, how to protect it, and how to defend it. Okay, I'm sure we've got so much to learn. So if you haven't got your pen and paper yet, you know, the old-fashioned style, or your pen and your paper, grab them so you can start making notes. Or you may be more up to date and you've got your iPad or your whatever device there. Have it prepared to make some notes and be prepared for the challenge as well. Okay. So before we go any further into our show, I'd like to read the disclaimer. Tuning in. Only a physician can diagnose, treat, and prescribe for illness or disease. Any information disclosed or discussed at the TTI Zoom talk show are for educational and informational purposes only. Please continue to seek professional medical advice from your general practitioner regarding any illness or disease you may be suffering from. Okay? So who remembers what the challenge was last week? We had it posted on the women's WhatsApp group. I'm sure the men did something similar.
One of them was to keep the windows open for fresh air.
Aha. And how did that go?
Excellent.
Could you tell a difference?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, actually, I'm an awful one in that sometimes even in winter, I open them and I'm very cold, but I love opened windows. I do. I love fresh air. Makes such a big difference.
Yeah. I can definitely add to that one this morning. It must have been about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I kept waking up and I was like struggling a little bit to catch my breath. And I said to my husband, Edgar, the window's open. He opened it and then I went back to sleep. No problem.
There you are. Fantastic.
Okay, what about the other challenges? There were some good ones this week. I must admit, I really enjoyed them. Just to remind you, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. And one of our challenges was to go outside in the fresh air for maybe 20 to 30 minutes, 3 times a day, I think it was, and walk in the fresh air. And whilst you're out there, do some deep breathing. And I think I combined last week and the week before. So I was exercising in the fresh air on my bike on my way into work. But it was a reminder every time I went, because it became built into the lifestyle. I would do my 5 seconds breathing in, 5 seconds breathing out as I was cycling along the embankment with the trees overhead. So it was all good air. Marvelous. Anybody else?
Sharon.
Hello.
Hi, I've managed to do some skipping this week.
Okay.
In the fresh air.
That's good.
And it's been good.
You've got no choice but to breathe when you're skipping. You have to take deep breaths.
Yeah, it's been really good exercise, and you don't need a gym or anything. You can just skip in your garden. So I've been doing a bit of skipping this week, which has been really good with the fresh air and leaving the windows open at night time as well. Just a little crack, and I've noticed a difference too.
Excellent. That's great. And thankfully for us over here in the UK, we've been having, we got to be grateful for every day we get sunshine, yeah? And as you can see, or maybe you can't see, the skies are blue. We've got some good sunshine this weekend. Some places we might not be allowed to go, or if you go, you've got a lockdown afterwards. But thankfully, we are blessed with decent weather. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah, we have a first-time person, so welcome to the group. I can't let's see. Nathandos, welcome to you. And Elizabeth, thank you for joining us. Fantastic. Any other first timers? You're more than welcome. Anybody else had any wish to share how you found this week's challenge, taking in the deep breaths of fresh air? Not excessively so that you end up hyperventilating or going dizzy, but
Hi, Sharon.
Hey, Marie.
Hi, it's Marie. Yes, well, this week I definitely put out a lot more effort in making sure that I was outside even more, and it was actually lovely. I woke up quite early before the children were up, and I went for, just a long walk, and it really gave my day a good boost. Yeah, it was a really lovely start to the day, and I got lots done. I thought that was the day when I went for a walk, and it was a long walk, was the day that I was most productive. So that was something that I noticed. Yes, but I did get out lots more this week into the parks and stuff. So yes, was really lovely this week, the challenge.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Even like, I think it was probably about an hour and a half ago, I was out with my sons. We were cycling in the countryside, taking some, well, I was taking some good, I wish I should have videoed it and put it on the group, because the views were amazing looking. Sorry, just trying to let some people in. The views were amazing looking over the fields, the cornfields, which, well, they've now been cut. But yeah, and it's just, nature is just so healing.
And just to add one more thing as well, Sharon, I as a rule of thumb, we normally sleep with our room window open. So, that was something that we normally practice. But on the other hand, just like you, when our room windows are closed, we notice a difference. We find it very difficult to sleep. So I would encourage everyone to ensure that if it's even a crack, crack your window and get some fresh air in, especially at nights when you're sleeping.
I would like to add to that, Sharon, to say probably those who live in bungalows and might be afraid to open their windows could probably get a safety device fit on the window, so you can open it and it can't go any further.
Yeah. And if you remember, one of the 8 doctors that we subscribe to is trust. So, when you, obviously we're not just going to say leave your doors and windows wide open so anybody can walk in, but we have an element of trust that when we open the windows, we're not going to have all kind of creatures crawling in. Well, I do anyway. I don't want bugs coming in. They're not too welcome. Okay. We've got quite a few people joining us for the first time as well today. I've seen quite a few more people saying, this is my first time. You are welcome to give us your comments as well, even if you weren't actually aware of the challenge, or you may have been. Feel free, don't be shy. We're happy to hear from anybody who has anything to share. Okay, so if there's no further testimonies coming up, just to let you know that we have a challenge later on. Jonathan is going to share with us something that's worth waiting for. So stay tuned to the very end. And Dr. Louisa, are you ready for us? We're ready for you.
Just to also say, Sharon, for those who are joining us for the first time, that we do have a WhatsApp group, well, a couple WhatsApp group. A matter of fact, we have a few WhatsApp group. We have a women WhatsApp group, and we have a men WhatsApp group, and we have a WhatsApp group that we deal with biblical health from a scientific perspective.
Thank you for that, Jonathan. Yes, the reminder there. For those of you who may be joining us for the first time, if you wish to come into the WhatsApp group. This is where we encourage each other with reminders of the challenges, and we may share some of, if it involved making something, we may share photos or videos of what we've made, recipes and encouragement. So if you wish to join there, I'm going to ask the more technical admin staff, that's not me, okay, to share the WhatsApp group links in the chat. So keep your eye on the chats, because some of your questions may appear in there. And feel free, if you do have any questions, sorry about the ice cream van in the background, it's too noisy. If you do have questions, if you wish to put them in the chat, and maybe one of the admin members can answer them, or we'll put them to the presenter when she's finished.
And just to say also, Sharon, for those who are joining us for the first time, if they wish to join us on the WhatsApp group, that we try to keep these group neutral, so everyone can participate, and we just try to deal with health. We try to be health specific on there.
So by neutral, Jonathan, means whatever your faith, whatever, you know, wherever your culture, we're trying to keep it neutral so that we're not pushing one particular faith belief or over another. Okay, hope you appreciate that. Okay then, so Dr. Louisa, are you ready for us? Let's see. Welcome, Dr. Gandhi. It's nice to have you with us. Welcome, everybody. Okay, whilst we're waiting for Dr. Louisa to come in, I think she's in, but I can't find her. Okay, other tips that we have to boost your immune system. One of them is one that I can see Charlene's enjoying right now, and I am definitely, which is good old sunshine. Okay, so some of us might be a little bit wary of getting out there, but do you know that sunshine has so many properties in there that's going to help with our immune system? Did you know that? It's also it's a good cleanser. And there's lots of foods that help with our immune system as well, to help boost. Hello, Denisa. Hi. Sorry about that, guys. Hello, Denisa. Hello. Hello, Denisa. I'm just in the middle of hosting. What's the matter?
Is Dr. Louisa ready for us, Sharon?
Sorry, my phone mute button just went because someone was calling me. Is Dr. Louisa ready? Let's just have a look. Is she muted? In the meanwhile, while I'm waiting for Dr. Louisa, in the meantime, if Jason Williams is available to unmute, or Jonathan, if you can share something. In fact, maybe we could, are you ready to do the challenge first, Jason? Could we do that? Do it that way around?
You mean Jonathan?
Sorry, Jonathan. Are we ready? Could we do it that way around?
Yes, we could.
Okay, let's do that then.
And I would need to share my screen, Sharon.
Yeah. I'm sure whilst you're admin, you can do that.
Okay.
Co-host, sorry.
I'll bring that up. And then share screen. Minimize. Make this full screen. Start with-
That's looking good, Jonathan. That looks really good.
Thank you.
I love greens.
It tastes good as well.
Okay. For those of you who are wondering why I get so excited about greens, I hope I'm not going into Jonathan's presentation, but the makeup of greens in the chlorophyll that is so similar to blood. And when you have your greens, it's like having a blood transfusion. It really boosts your energy levels. So when I see greens like that, it makes me smile.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining us on TTI. I wasn't expecting to presenting at this stage. Usually it would be after the presentation, so this is a follow-up after the presentation, but because Dr. Louisa seems to not be on because of technical issue, I will share what I've got prepared. So the presentation would have been this evening, or should be, on the immune system, how the immune system works and how we can boost our immune system. Now, these are my slides, which are few, are some things I put together to support the immune system, a healthy immune system. Vitamins and minerals to boost the immune system. Just trying to move to my next slide. Thank you. So vitamins and minerals for immune system: vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, probiotics, selenium, and vitamin A. These are all vitamins that will help to support and maintain a good immune system. And we can find these vitamins in, like vitamin C, we can find it in citrus. We can find it we have some goji berry here. These are packed with vitamin C. We can find it in these. We've got rose hips. We can find vitamin C in rose hips. And vitamin D, you know, the sunshine. We get vitamin D from the sunshine. There are good supplements that we can use for vitamin D, which I'm sure some of the admins will post some good supplements that we can use to get vitamin D. And your zinc, you get that from your seeds. You can get your zinc from your seeds, your pumpkin seed, your chia seeds. You can get it from, there's another good source, which I'm trying, sesame seed. You can get it from your sesame seeds. And your probiotics. These you can get from the good bacteria in your gut. One of the way that we use in our family to obtain our probiotics, we use a supplement. This one here, I don't know if you can see it. Good. Can you all see that?
The turmeric.
Yes, it's pro-fermented turmeric. We bought this. You can get that. And then you have, we use is sauerkraut, right?
Yes.
We also use sauerkraut. I'm just getting it so we can show you. This we help to support the good bacteria in our gut, in our digestive system. If I just move on to my next slide. So the challenge for the week. Oh, sorry. No, it's gone. We need to go back on the other one. So the challenge for the week is to make an immune boosting smoothie containing spirulina, lemon, orange, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, and non-dairy milk. That's one that you can make, or you can make an immune boosting tea containing elderberries, which I will demonstrate just now. So this is elderberry. It grows here in the UK wild. A lot of people may know it. Can everyone see?
No.
Can you see it?
No.
Still can't see it?
I think you'll have to, because you're screen sharing, you'll have to swipe across to see your.
Okay, yeah. Because I can see myself on the camera, so you probably just have to swipe across everyone else so you can see me.
Or if you double click your screen, I think you can get it big screen and have your presentation small. So double click your picture.
No, me. Chris is talking. Okay, that's your elderberry. I've actually prepared some earlier. I've actually prepared a tea earlier using my little pot. I asked my wife what it's called and she tell me it's love. I don't know what that is. But this is a little pot. I got the berry. And we do have the ingredients, which I will share later on. But we dropped the berries in it and we use ginger. Can you all see?
Yes.
Yeah, so we use a kettle, pour the water on it like that.
Jonathan?
Yes, Sharon?
Sorry, Jonathan, not everybody's able to see because they've not all tapped their screen. It's for us as viewers to tap our screen, double tap, and then we can interchange.
Okay.
Or just stop the screen share.
Oh, is that okay now? Is that okay for everyone?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, so that's your elderberry. I've dropped it in my little container here and pour the water on it with some freshly grated ginger. And this is the result that you get. And that will really help to boost the immune system. Where's my slide?
Whilst Jonathan's waiting for his slides or to connect back to his screen share, I can testify that the elderberry is fantastic. I know I've been walking in our country park. I won't tell you which one in case I get into trouble, but I'm sure I won't. But yeah, I've been walking in our country park because before I would pick the elderflowers and use that to make drink. But now the berries are out. And I've not even gone for the ginger. I've just taken the elderberries and plopped it in the cup, poured hot water on, squeeze the berries to get the juice out, and then drink it. You don't even have to add sweetener to it because it's sweet enough, and it tastes a bit like hot blackcurrant drink. You know, when you used to be sick and you'd get the Ribena and you'd drink hot Ribena. That's a bit what it tastes like. Where can you get it? Apart from out in the countryside, in parks and stuff like that. I'm not sure which health shops do it, but naturally what you could do, I mean, Jonathan did show us the elderberry, but what you could do is, and you want to be making sure you're picking the right thing, is have a look on the internet to research what the leaves are like and what the berries are like and what the flowers are like, so you can use it even when it's as elderflower. But back over to you, Jonathan. In the chat, we have a few questions. Please re-show the elderberry. Can you show it again, please, Jonathan?
Okay.
Somebody also wants to know what are the amounts to make the smoothie. Sorry.
The ingredients we will post it in the you will see it on my slide, so we can share that. But this is the elderberry, and this is it with the leaf. So you may pass this every day, not realizing, because it grows wild in the countryside. Well, even in the cities and towns, you can find it. So spirulina increases, so why these ingredients? Spirulina increases the production of antibodies, infection fighting protein, and other cells that improve immunity and help ward off infection and chronic illness such as cancer. And then the citrus, which are your oranges and your lime, your lemon, or a strong immunity booster. They have vast amount of vitamin C. And like I showed you earlier as well, this is a really good source of vitamin C, your goji berry. And then you have your lemon, your common lemon. Ginger. Ginger is anti-inflammatory. We have our common ginger. These are things that we have in our homes, or everyday remedies that are or seasoning that we use. These can really help to boost the immune system. And then you have the cinnamon. It's a spice. A lot of West Indians, we use it to cook with, or I think even Indians, and they put it in their dishes. These are good home recipe. And like we just showed, we have our elderberry. Now I want to make you another recipe, which or there's something else that I never mentioned here, which is your thyme, your common thyme that you cook with. This as well, your common thyme, you can use this to make a tea, and it will help to boost the immune system. And one last, that's it, right? One last recipe I want to share with you guys, and or I should say, if Dr. Louisa is on, then we could get her to do our presentation, and then I could come back at the end and share that one last recipe with you all.
That's a good idea, Jonathan. That's a good idea. So Dr. Louisa, she is on, Dr. Kgomotso. So thank you for that. A reminder that we have nature to help us boost our immune system. As you can see, there is a recipe on there. And can we make Dr. Louisa a co-host so she can share her screen as required? Thank you so much, Jonathan.
You're welcome. I hope that was beneficial.
So we'd like to welcome Dr. Louisa onto the platform as she shares with us how our immune system can be used to secure, protect, and defend us in these days. And yes, we can show the recipe again.
Thank you.
Some of you may not know Dr. Louisa. So as you join us, can you just tell us a little bit, introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone, and apologies once again. This always seems to happen when I'm presenting. My network refuses to actually work, but we thank the Lord that I'm here now. I'm kgomotso Mogapi. I work at a lifestyle center in Pietermaritzburg here in South Africa with Jason Williams. I'm a medical doctor by profession, but practicing the alternative way. I think that's about all that's necessary for now. As we get into today's topic, the immune system, one of the reasons we thought this was important is because in the light of COVID-19 and people are worried about their immune system, people are worried about what's going to happen, vaccinations, and all of that. So I'm just going to briefly and quickly go through the immune system. Do share your questions in the chat, and the rest of the team will help so that we can answer the questions all together. For those of you who watched the show on Thursday with Shalene and Alvin, you would have had some more information on how to use essential oils, and Jonathan has just shared with you also some recipes to help your immune system. But the question is, what is this immune system? And what does it do? And I like the looking at the human body as almost like a country, and a country must be protected from foreign invaders, from harm, from whatever else. And that's what we'll be looking at today. I hope you can see my screen.
Could you just, thank you.
Yeah, all right, just give me a moment. Okay, the immune system: secure, protect, and defend. Remember that the body is composed of about 11 systems altogether. So this is just one of the whole. Okay, you have your nervous system, you've got your circulatory system, you've got your digestive system. But this system, meaning it's not just one organ, it's a combination of different things. Its job, literally, is your defense. When you compare it to a country, in countries, you will find that you have security firms, and they will have security guards, and their job is to deal with issues at a lower level, protecting businesses, protecting buildings, protecting individuals at that level. Then you have your police service, and your police service is said to serve and protect the people in the country. They deal with the criminal minds that are coming up. So they deal with a higher level than just the security. And then ultimately you have your defense system, which is your military. Now, I want to say this at the very beginning: you don't want your military coming to deal with security, because by the nature of their training, you may get problems. And you also don't want the security firm to deal with issues that require a military. So each aspect of security and protection and defense is designed specifically to deal with something. And therefore, you will see that I call level 1, level 2, and level 3 of the immune system and defense. I hope that makes sense so far. So the function of the immune system is protection of your body, okay? Just stop and think about that. Your body, we live in a hostile environment, actually, if you haven't noticed, but I think COVID-19 has made us aware of this. So your body needs protection against what? Against harmful substances. So there are things that can come into your body that can damage you. They're not part of cells. They're not organisms, so they might not be alive. They can be that come into your body. So your body must be able to protect itself against these substances and against organism. When I talk about organism, we're talking about things that are alive. But what we need to remember is that about 90% of organisms on Earth are actually non-pathogenic, meaning they don't cause disease in us. Actually, they live symbiotically, they live as part of our body. Okay, that's important to note. Only about 5 to 10% of organisms are actually harmful to the human body. So those are the ones in which the body must defend itself against. And it must also protect itself against cellular changes. Your cells are supposed to be working in harmony. If there are any changes to a cell, it could cause havoc in the body. So we know this in terms of, by the time a cell becomes cancerous, you don't want that cell living in your body. There are actually 8 anti-cancer mechanisms in our body, but that's another day. But ultimately, your body needs to be able to protect itself from harmful substances and organisms, as well as from cellular changes. All right. It must keep us secure. The immune system must keep us secure from external dangers, meaning things that are outside of ourselves, and also to defend against intrusion, anything that comes inside. But also, as we mentioned, it must be able to protect us even from our own cells that have undergone different kind of changes. So in the light of COVID-19, the body must be able to protect us against this coronavirus, which is causing disease. It must be able to secure us from this coronavirus, and it must be able to defend us once the coronavirus has intruded. Does that make sense? All right. Okay, so there are 3 levels of protection, as I've already said. Starting from the outside, this is level 1, this is security. You will get to see what this is composed of. Then you have level 2 of protection, which starts coming more internally. And then you have level 3, which is your defense. This is your military. Remember, as I said, you don't want your military dealing with level 1, okay? If the military comes to deal with somebody who's just parked in the wrong area, we've seen in South Africa what the military did when people were not putting on their masks. That should be something that the security deals with. And if the police deals with it as well, considering that they have guns, they may just take out a gun to shoot somebody who's breaching security, but is not really somebody who's dangerous. The same thing can happen in our body, but I'm moving ahead of myself. Just keep that thought in mind, and I will come to it towards the end. So your immune system has 3 levels, level 1, level 2, and level 3. So what are these levels? I really love this picture. Remember, the whole point is to have barriers against being invaded by things that are coming from the outside, but also with dealing with things if they happen to come inside. So level 1 on this picture would be called the non-specific physical and chemical defenses. So this is your level 1 security. Your skin is absolutely critical in this. You will see your skin is continuous. You know, we take our skin for granted. We don't think much of it, except if it has pimples or things like that. But without your skin, you would die. That people that have greater than 70% burns, they either die from dehydration because they can't keep the moisture in, but they can also die from infections. Why? Because skin is a barrier against organisms. Imagine if you didn't have your skin and everything was exposed. This coronavirus would just be able to just latch on you and voila, you have disease. Skin is very important, but not just the skin on the outside. When you go in your mouth and in your nose, anywhere where there's an orifice, you have what we call mucous membrane. To simplify it, mucous membranes is skin on the inside. So all the way down your throat, your esophagus, you've got mucous membrane. Your stomach, you've got mucous membrane. All the way around your bowel. This is still internal but external, if you know what I mean. If you swallowed a coin, it would come out the other end. So you need to have that protection throughout your body, all right? So you've got your skin, you've got mucous membrane. Now you've got also chemical, you've got your stomach acid. A lot of us never consider that our stomach acid is for protection. How is that? We really should not be getting so much food poisoning. If food has gone off and it's got bacteria, the acid in the stomach should be able to destroy that bacteria. Okay, the only bacteria that will not be destroyed by acid are acid-loving bacteria, and that's because they're supposed to pass through. So a lot of us in time, we actually have low acid levels, and this is what organisms like, I don't know if anybody of you have been told you've got gastritis and they've said you've got H. pylori, a bacteria growing in your stomach. It simply means you have levels of acid. And sometimes we have low levels of acid because we're using antacids. We're using your myogels and your Lansolox, all these omeprazole, all these things suppress your acid level. But when you do that, you are interfering with your defense, okay? So you've got your skin, you've got your mucous membrane, you've got your stomach acid. In your tears, you've got lysosomes. In all your secretions, you have lyso means to destroy or to burst something. So you have all these enzymes that are supposed to destroy the organisms even before they breach your skin to come inside of your body. So in your tears, in your saliva, in all your secretions, you have these things. And we also have mechanisms of protecting ourselves: coughing, sneezing, vomiting, diarrhea. How many of us are very quick to use cough suppressants? And when we vomit, to take something for that. And when we have diarrhea, to take medication to stop the diarrhea. But you will vomit because your body might be saying, look, the food you've eaten is not right. It is rotten. And if we allow it to continue going through your body, all these bacteria and viruses are going to make their way into your body. So let's rather expel it out, okay, so that it does not continue. And if for whatever reason it passes through, you may have diarrhea if you ate food that has a lot of bacteria in it. Why? Because your body is like, this food is off, there's a lot of bacteria, there's a lot of germs, let's quickly rush it out of the body before these things make a home inside of you and therefore lead to infection. This is part of barriers to you being invaded by harmful substances, by harmful pathogens or organisms, and that's what they're there for. So you should not stop coughing and sneezing and diarrhea and vomiting, but obviously you must make sure that whatever you're losing in terms of fluids and whatever, you're putting back. I'm hoping this makes sense. This is level 1 of protection. This is your security mechanisms. The skin is saying, no, who are you and why do you want to come in? So in the light of coronavirus, even apart from the masks, you have your nose, right? Where if you should inhale and the virus goes into your nostril, there's a mucous membrane. It automatically go into your blood or into your system. Your mucous membrane will be able to detect that, oh, look, there's a virus that has come in. That's why you may start to sneeze, and if it ends up at the back of your throat, you may start to cough. If it goes into your lung, you can start to cough because your body is saying, there's a foreign particle that has entered into our body. We need to get rid of it. We don't want it to invade us. And that's your level 1 protection with regards to COVID-19. And if that level 1 does not work, then you'll move on to level 2. I like to call level 2 protection. This is your natural immunity. This is when underneath your skin and underneath your mucous membrane, you have all these cells, different functions. You have macrophages. It simply means large eaters. They will come in and they will just eat that coronavirus if it breaches the barrier. The eosinophils, if you inhale some dust particles, these are the ones that deals with allergic reactions. They will signal and say, look, this thing has come in and it's causing an irritation. So you've got different cells that are there as part of your protection of level 2 to deal with whatever has breached the barrier. Is that clear? These things must have breached the barrier so that level 2 now gets activated to say, okay, so you've passed the barriers, you've passed the border gates, you have come into the body. Now we're going to deal with you. And the complement system is part of a signaling. So they will all be communicating with one another. They will be releasing. That's why if you inhale dust and you get an itchy feeling and then you start to get a fever, these cells start releasing chemicals to communicate with each other, to say to the body, look, the barrier, the skin, the stomach, whatever, has been breached. We've got an invader that has come in. So now we need to get activated. All right. At this level, a person may also get a fever, because the fever is a body's response to saying, right, everybody, level 1, be alert, please pick up. There's an invader that has come in, and we need to deal with this because level 1 defense has not worked. So now level 2 to be. So if it's at your house and you have a security firm and robbers come in and they tap the level 1 security, but somehow a panic button is pressed to say there has been a breach, this is when the police are going to come in deal with this. The same thing happens in your body. And then level 3, I will explain these as I go along again. Level 3 is when level 1 is saying, look, we've dealt with this thing non-specifically, but now we need to deal, like with COVID-19. So your body will deal with it. There'll be a fever. It will realize that, okay, it's a virus. What do we need to do? But then it must then specifically identify this virus so that it can deal with it as it is. So level 3 is highly specific. This is where you have your B cells and your T cells. You have cells that come in and does the intelligence to take apart this thing that has come in and analyze it to say, what are you? Are you a bacteria? Are you a virus? Are you a worm? Are you a chemical? What are you? Once it has analyzed it, it says, okay, then we need to make antibodies. You have millions, billions of cells, B cells, that are just waiting. They are uncommitted. They're just sitting there waiting to say, when something new comes, this B cell will be responsible for saying, all right, this is coronavirus. It has come in. This is what it looks like. This is how we'll be able to identify it in future. And this is the neutralizer that we're going to make to deal with this virus. This is how beautiful. This is your defense now. This is when the police have done all they can and the military with their intelligence come in and say, let us analyze this thing so that in future we know how to deal with this thing. These are the 3 levels of defense, and these are very important to keep you secure, protected, and defended from harmful substances and harmful organisms in the body, including your own cells if they become dangerous to your own body. So I have gone through this. A repetition deepens impression. Security, level 1, it's physical and chemical barriers. You can see it. I've already alluded to it. The skin is continuous. It's hard to find an opening. And where you find an opening, like with your nose and with your ears and with your mouth and anywhere else, it continues as a mucous membrane. And the skin is not just one layer. I will not go into many details. It has many different layers. The skin is generally dry, if you will notice. For people, I used to run a women's wellness center. For the women who tended to be obese and have, rolls of skin and fat, and where they sweat and the skin becomes moist, that's where the bacteria used to love to grow. So you will find that they will have thrush there. So it's important to make sure that your skin is dry. It's important to have the right pH on your skin because one, that pH does not allow for organisms that are harmful to come onto your body. But the right pH also allows for organisms that are good for you to be on your skin. I will go into that. And then lysozymes, as I've said, are enzymes that break down pathogens. Look at that. So even if the coronavirus was to land on your skin, or whatever bacteria was to land on your skin, you've got enzymes on your skin, on your mucosal membrane, that's able to break these things down. That's just at level 1 of defense. All right. Natural organisms. I used to also work in the labor ward delivering babies. And what we noticed, well, even afterwards when I did my research, was children who are born via cesarean section, tend to have more skin conditions and allergies. And the reason for that is because when a child is born, as they exit the mother's tract, they are coated, their skin is actually coated with the mother's organisms, because these form your defense system, part of your natural immunity. These are that 90% of the organisms that are not harmful to you. Streptococcus and staphylococcus on our skin, it's supposed to be there. They protect us so that when harmful organisms come on, there's a fight actually between your good organisms that have colonized your skin and these harmful ones that are trying to affect your skin. All right, so it's important. So now, one of the things that we need to do is be careful. A lot of people like to use antibacterial soaps. You are actually getting rid of your defense when you do that, because these antibacterial soaps, they will render your skin, it can be even drier, it can change the pH, but it gets rid of your natural organisms, which are supposed to be part of your defense system because they are not harmful to you. Yes, we're to be clean, but we don't need to be overly clean. We don't need to be sanitized so much. So even as we go into the different shops and there are all these sanitizers, some people who are sensitive may start to find that they're getting a dermatitis, which is inflammation of the skin, because with all these sanitizers that we're using, we're getting rid of the good pathogens on our skin. And one of the great things you can do once you've been around and sanitized a lot is just get to gardening. You know, in the soil, you're going to get the pathogens coming back onto your skin. The good ones will remain, the bad ones will be washed away. So you just need to make sure that you've got good skin hygiene and you're using a soap that is friendly, a natural soap and I think Shirlene, get ready to answer questions about what natural soaps, what natural oils you can use to make sure that the good bacteria and the good pathogen, not the good organisms, are happy to live on your skin. With regards to the mucous membrane, you will see that when you've got an upper respiratory tract infection, you get mucus, right? And you cough it up. The mucus is there to attach. Okay, let me give this example. On a windy day, you will find that you're sneezing and a lot of mucus is coming out. Your body makes that because it realizes there's a lot of dust, there's a lot of particles that may end up in your system, and it doesn't want it ending up in your lungs. So it makes that so that the particles can get stuck and then they will come down. So you'll have a runny nose, but it can also go all the way down to your lungs, okay, for any particles that have bypassed the nose, so that they can get stuck onto the mucus and then you can cough it up. So that's important. We spoke about pH in the stomach, that's not favorable to pathogens. We've spoken about the enzymes that are there to break down organisms. We've spoken before about having good gut bacteria. This is very important. If you don't have good gut bacteria, you will find that any bacteria that manages to pass your stomach are going to just colonize you and create havoc on inside of you, on your mucous membrane. So your mucous membrane internally, in terms of your digestive system, is supposed to have a little mucus there. The cells are supposed to be bound together so that they don't allow anything to pass. And you're also supposed to have the good bacteria. When you don't have the good bacteria, now all you're left with is the mucus and your cells. When you don't have the mucus, all you have is your cells. And if you're taking anything that damages the cells, that's when we say people have a leaky gut syndrome, where your cells start to open up, meaning particles that are not supposed to are able to pass, and organisms can also pass and go directly into your bloodstream. So you want to keep your physical barriers intact as part of keeping your immune system, your level 1 system, your security, your barriers intact. I'm hoping that is making sense so far. All right, moving down to level 2. Level 2, like we said, it's non-specific, it's natural protection. These are cells that are just under your skin. So you will see in this picture that you've got the skin on the top and there has been a breach. So you've had a cut or you've got inflammation, like people who have eczema. That's why people who have eczema can easily get secondary infection. You have it causing your skin either externally or internally, like you have a gastritis, you have ulcerative colitis. These are inflammations. It means your skin has been can easily be breached. Okay. Those little things that look like rice powder that are labeled number 8, that is now your pathogen. Instead of it being on the outside, now it has found its way inside. You will see down at level 6. Number 6 is actually where your blood is flowing. So you'll see the pathogen is not actually at the level of your blood. It's between your skin and in that space in between. Does that make sense? So this is where your level 2 security are. These are different kinds of cells, number 4 and number 7. These are, number 7 is what I call the macrophage. These are large eaters. You will see it's opening, it's allowed itself to engulf these little rice looking like pathogens. So it will just eat them up as much like Pac-Man would do, just eat up these things that have breached the skin. You will see 5 there, those tiny little blue things. These are the chemicals that the cells are releasing to say, look, we have a problem. You see how 7 is coming through the barrier? It's coming into this space to help. So help is being recruited. So there's communication between the different cells to say, listen, level 1 security has been breached. Now we need to come in and protect the body. Okay, so with regards to, I keep going back to COVID-19. If for some reason it's able to breach your mucous membrane in your nose and in your lungs, it will get engulfed, okay? Because it's not supposed to just be there, whatever it is. So that is the response of level 2. Level 2 is your protection. It's non-specific. It will deal with it no matter whether it's a flu virus, it's a SARS virus, it's a COVID-19, it's a bacteria. These cells are non-specific. There's different kinds of them. And this is what they do. And they also release chemicals to recruit others to come from the blood, to come to the area. So either you will have heat in that area or you will have heat throughout the body. Fever is part of level 2 immune response. There've been people that have an infection and they don't have fever. I always worry about those kind of people because it means something is wrong with their system. Now, also what we tend to do when we have fever, this is level 2, this is your body. Remember, when you have fever, that's what your body has done, because these cells, cell 4, cell 7, and the others, they work better in a heated environment, and the pathogens do not like environment. Does that make sense? They don't like these temperatures of above 38. So when we take your paracetamol and any anti-fever, anti-pyrexia, we are actually fighting with our own level 2 protection. It's like your body is trying to mobilize help and you are shutting it down because we don't like how fever makes us feel. All right. So for fever, you would want to put something cold on your forehead because it's the head. The brain doesn't like fever, but the rest of the body will be fine with it. So that would happen. It's not only with organisms. When you're toxic, you will feel that your body starts having a bit of fever. This is still level 2 kind of response. People with chronic inflammation, it means that they are at level 2 almost all the time. Every day, level 2 is engaged in this kind of fight. And what you need to understand about these cells, number 4, number 7, and the others we're going to see at level 3, is that they die in the line of duty, okay? And if your diet does not allow you to make new cells, your immune system will become compromised because the cells are dying for you every day, dealing with all these issues, and the body does not have what it needs, policemen or new security to come and defend you. So that's why the laws of health that we teach you are to help even with this defense system. All right. So we've seen level 1, which is your physical barriers and the chemicals that are there. We've seen level 2, which is when level 1 is breached, level 2 will come to play, which is non-specific. It's in a breach, we need to deal with this. It calls for recruits, it creates a fever, there may be pain, there may be discomfort. There are warning signs to tell you that, look, things are not what they're supposed to be. All right, so that's the level 2. Now moving on to level 3 of your defense, security level 3, which is specific or adaptive defense. All right, I said that this is what uses, let me go back to that slide. This is where you have your T cells and your B cells. Don't worry too much about the name, but the T cells are specifically trained. The T cells are able to recognize what is self, what belongs to your own body, and anything that does not belong to your own body, it knows it is foreign and it must deal with it. And remember, these T cells are formed in like about the first 2 years of life, especially. Children don't have a well-developed immune system. They actually depend on what the mother has passed on to them in terms of memory to deal with infections. Okay, so you have your T cells, they are specialized. I like to say they have been to university, they have been trained to say this is self, you should not attack it. These are the bacteria that are also part of cells, you should not attack them. That's why you should be able to have all these bacteria and your body doesn't deal with them in any kind of way, except if they go into the wrong place. And then it will only recognize that which is foreign according to its training. And then you have your B cells, which are your intelligence cells. They also make your antibodies. Your antibodies comes in to neutralize. So your T cells will come and they'll say, okay, wait a minute, this is a virus. This is the coronavirus. It will take it apart and it will send the information to the B cells and say, we have found this thing. It's the coronavirus. These are the different parts of it. You need to make something to neutralize this coronavirus. So the B cell will start making what we call antibodies. You can actually be tested to see if you are making antibodies towards a specific virus. Like I said, we have millions, billions of these B cells waiting for every type of virus that can ever come under the sun so that it can start making. You should not run out of B cells if you're actually healthy. All right, that would be a very rare condition. So for you and me, otherwise, we have been non-committed. They're still waiting for the new virus that's going to come so that they can learn that virus and make antibodies to neutralize that virus. As much as there's a B cell that makes the antibody, there'll be a B cell that is a memory that will always remember, so that when it is presented to say, look, this virus has come in, and they look at the analysis, your intelligence system, almost like your CIA, they will say, oh, okay, no, we recognize this one. This is a coronavirus strain 19. Okay, and then it says, okay, so you know how to deal with this. Yeah, we know how to we've already manufactured something to deal with it. We'll just neutralize it. And this is what this graph is showing you. That the first time you are exposed, that's what we call the first exposure to an antigen. So let's say today, Jason coughs in my face and he gives me coronavirus, and it goes and it breaches my mucous membrane for whatever reason, okay? And it goes, so my level 1 defense is breached, and then it goes to level 2, and my body creates a fever and it's trying to deal with it, but it's overwhelmed. It's not able to, even if it is, then level 3 then kicks in. The T cells come in and they take it apart and they say, oh, okay, this is coronavirus. And then it sends it to the B cells and say, please make antibodies. You will see that it takes quite some time, all right, for the antibody levels to rise as my body is dealing with it. This is the primary response. I got exposed to it the first time. So let's say in about 14 days, my body has recognized this. All the 3 levels of defense have worked together with me. It has made antibodies. You take my blood, you're able to see that, oh, okay, Kgomotso's blood is, Louise's blood is got these antibodies to neutralize this coronavirus. Until the coronavirus is neutralized, that's why you can then, you can test negative for coronavirus, but test positive for antibodies. because you see the antibodies may go down once it has dealt with the infection and infecting agent, but it never really goes away. So then 3 months from now, I get exposed to the very same strain of coronavirus. Remember, it can change and mutate, but if I get exposed to the very same strain, then I don't have to start from the beginning. My body says, we know this thing, we're exposed to it, we know it, okay? Even if it is 20 years down the line, it says, we know this thing, we've been exposed to it. And then it's able to respond very quickly and make more antibodies. And therefore, the duration of sickness, if I get any sickness, should be shorter, assuming that my body is working fine. So those are the 3 levels of defense. Why is it important? Why did I think it was important to discuss this? Okay, let me do the holistic. This is what the picture looks like altogether. We don't understand just how wonderfully made we are. The germ theory says germs cause disease. To a certain extent, that is true. I can't have the coronavirus disease unless I get the virus. But it's possible for me to have the virus and never have the disease. Why? The difference is how well is my immune system working? How secure am I? How protected am I? And how well defended am I? That's what you want to do. We can't control the viruses and the bacteria that are going to crop up in this world that we live in. We cannot. And we cannot try and hide from a virus. We can't be putting on masks and washing our hands and hiding in our houses, thinking that the virus is somehow not going to get there. But when we go to the shop, we're not even going to church. Because somehow it seems that the virus is more at the church than it is at the grocery store. All of this is not making sense. What is far more important is to make sure that your defense is level 1 as well, your level 2 as well, and your level 3 of defense as well. All right. You want your externals. I keep repeating myself because I also want us to be able to understand vaccinations. I will not take a stand. I want you to be able to make up your own decision. So the immune system, you've got your externals, which is your level 1. I've spoken about this. And then you have your internals, the Pac-Man there, which are the ones that identify and exterminate, they get rid of. And you have others that just attack your cells that, or even your cells that have been infected, they will be killed, okay? There is what we call collateral damage. If the cells in your lungs are infected with the coronavirus, some of your own cells will have to be killed and gotten rid of. Why would your body do that? Because that you're able to make new ones. Just like if your skin gets damaged, you don't need to worry about your skin being damaged. You will make new skin over time. So your cells which are infected will be killed, and then new cells will be made, which are healthy and not infected. You want infected cells to be multiplying and replicating. You want those ones gone, okay? And then you have your level 3, which is what they've called the second line. As I said, the T cells and the B cells. The T cells, they will receive the message from level 1, from your police, your protection service, to say, look, we need to get rid of this enemy. It is creating a problem, and you need to inform the intelligence, which is the B cells, to make antibodies and to store memories. If you want to do anything for yourself, take a picture of this slide and just remember, because everything is right here, that you need to remember about your 3 levels of defense, but they haven't put it the way, I don't have the technology to know how to put it the way I wanted to put it. So this is your ultimate defense, level 1, level 2, 3. Okay. Now, some of the things that are important as I close so that I can take questions. You need to keep all levels appropriately functional, okay? You need to take care of your skin. You need to make sure that you're using the right personal body products for bathing, for oiling yourself. Be careful of things like perfumes and all of these things. You need to make sure you're not increasing the work of at any of those levels, okay? Whenever we eat food that are loaded with chemicals, like your snacks, your crisps, and they've got tartrazine and all of these preservatives and chemicals, that actually keeps your level 2 functioning, trying to deal with these chemicals. So you don't want to do that, because what's going to happen is that, I will come to that. Okay, what's going to happen is that if your level 1 gets breached, now your level 2 is busy occupied with dealing with the fact that you ate tartazine, you know. So now you will actually have your defense, your level 3 level coming into act. And this is when people are in chronic inflammation. Remember, in level 2, there is damage, there's collateral damage happening to your body. You don't want to be in a state of chronic inflammation. There's always damage happening to your body, and you don't want that. You want the body to, as rapidly as possible, to deal with an issue in its inflammatory state and then be done so that repair can happen. But if a repair never happens, imagine in your lungs, the cells in your lungs are being destroyed to deal with this thing that's infecting, but because the infection is ongoing and there are other problems, you're drinking milk and eating cheese and all these other things, so inflammation is going on and on and on, you never actually get to have a repair. And that's why a lot of people were having this ongoing respiratory distress because of it, because there was damage to the lung and there wasn't time to fix it, because inflammation was ongoing. There's a difference between these 4 things: immune boosting, immune modulating, immune suppressing, and immune manipulation. When you boost your immune system, you want it to work. With COVID-19, you will hear other doctors, scientists, they will say it's not good to boost them because there's a cytokine storm. Cytokines are chemicals that are created at level 2, okay? There's a storm if your body is making too many of these. Why would your body be making too many of these? One, because you were already in a state of inflammation, so it was already making these. Or as your body making these chemicals, there is no appropriate response. So it's thinking, okay, I need to, if I say, Jonathan, help me, and I don't get the help, I'm gonna say, Jonathan, 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 Jonathan. So the response, the request for help is amplified. So that's when you may get the cytokine storm. So if you are at a stage of chronic inflammation, if you have any inflammatory condition, asthma, arthritis, all of these itis condition, you don't necessarily want to do immune boosting. What you want to do is immune modulation. Immune modulation means that you want to make sure that all 3 levels of your immune system are balanced in terms of how they work. Level 1 is working appropriately, level 2 is working appropriately, level 3 is working appropriately. Otherwise, there can be havoc in your body if your immune system overreacts. It was not designed to overreact, okay? But it can overreact for various reasons. So a lot of us actually need to be modulating our immune system. And what Jonathan actually showed you also helps in immune modulation. It's just that we're used to the word immune boosting. Immune suppression. A lot of the people, when they go into hospital with COVID-19, what happens is that they're given things to suppress their immune system. And that makes sense when they're given the steroids. Why? Because the respiratory distress that comes is because of how your immune system is responding. It's responding in a dysfunctional way, causing damage to your lungs. And therefore, when you suppress the immune system, the people get better. But remember, that means you have not dealt with the virus. You've only dealt with the body's immune response, because there was a problem with the immune system was already dysfunctional to begin with. So you've suppressed it, their lungs are saved and they're alive, but soon enough, the body has to deal with that virus that has entered their body, all right? So it's fine if you have your immune system suppressed so that you can, but soon after that, you need to correct your immune system, because that virus is still waiting in your body for you. You don't want to live with a suppressed immune system. You are left without defense. That's a country without defense. Imagine America without its defense. Everybody can just go in there. There's no border patrol. Everybody just flocks in there and does what they want. There's no security. There's no police. There's no military. There's none of that. You don't want your doctor may use that remedy for a short period in order to save your life. Immune manipulation. This is what vaccinations do. Vaccines mimic what the body is designed to do. What happens with vaccination is that either a weak version of the virus or the bacteria, or a slightly altered version, or the toxin that bacteria or virus makes is injected directly into your body to get your body to do level 3 response. Now, I personally have a problem with level 1, and it's almost like my house has security, I have security personnel, but jumping in. So my security do not even realize that something foreign has entered. Does that make sense? So if you get the coronavirus in a natural way, you inhale it and it goes through level 1 and level 2 and level 3, and your body responds to it appropriately, that's why when we were children, our parents would send us to the neighbor who had measles or chickenpox so that we could get it, so that we could build immunity. No, we shouldn't get it that way, rather have it vaccinated and put into your system. You're bypassing certain levels, and what you're putting in, be saying, yes, you can make it less dangerous as you put it in the body, but also what else is in the vaccine. Sometimes they are, remember, it's not just organisms that are dangerous to us, it's chemicals like your mercury, and chemicals such as your, what's that other thing that they put in other than mercury, aluminium that they put in, and other materials that come into your body. So you literally the body trying to get an immune response. Now the question is, if 87% of people who in South Africa, 87% of people who are infected with the coronavirus actually recover even without hospitalization, why not just allow all of us to get it that way and build an immune system and deal with that 13% that have a weak immune system? Now you're keeping us away from it and waiting to give us a vaccine, but we have seen that need of hospitalization. So our actions is not matching with the science that we understand about the immune system. Probiotics are important. Remember, probiotics, pro is life, pro is for, and biotic is life. These good organisms that you can take in the form of food or capsules, so that you just kind of preserve your internal gut. I had for you in terms of the 3 levels. So what good is this information for you? Well, I'm hoping, 1, it will help you realize that you have mechanisms in your body to deal with bacteria and viruses and chemicals that come in. But 2, it shows you that you also have a responsibility to care for your body, so that the 3 levels of your immune system are working well, so that whatever is coming next in 2020, 2021, your body is able to deal with it. And thirdly, so that if you have an inflammatory disease or a disease of the immune system, deal with it now. Stop suppressing it, stop manipulating it, start making it modulated and then boost it so that it works well. That's what I'm hoping is important. And fourthly, the question is going to come about whether we take vaccines or not. We've been seeing this on the group. There are people who are for vaccines, there are people who are anti-vaccines. You are going to need to understand why you're taking a vaccine, what effect it's going to have on your body. And that has to be an individual decision. And what are the consequences of a vaccine? I remember when I went to the US in 2015, I had sent them my blood results of all the antibodies that my body has made and all the memory that I have, especially to measles, but I did not have memory cells for chickenpox, because I've never had chickenpox, even though I've had patients with chickenpox. So when I arrived there and I had to see a doctor there, they said I needed to be vaccinated for chickenpox. And I said to the doctor, I would rather not. And they said, well, you kind of need to. And I said, but I don't understand why. I've been around people with chickenpox. I don't seem to get it. And my body shows that I've never had this virus inside of me. I'm thinking maybe level 1 defense is very strong. I don't know. But my B cells don't have a memory of me of ever being exposed to chickenpox. Now I said, so I don't have it. so I can't give it to others. I am the one who's at risk, because if anybody gives me chickenpox age, there's a possibility that I may get sicker than if I had it as a child. But what I did not want, I would rather at my age, I get chickenpox naturally, let it come in and breach my level 1 and level 2 and have level 3 respond, than to have it artificially put into my body with other chemicals and have my body deal with it that way, when for 40 years, my body had said no to chickenpox. That was a personal decision, having done my medically trained doctor, where my training says I should vaccinate people, but where I looked at the science and I said, but if I'm not getting this, why would I want to bypass these natural defenses to put something in me, and I'm not fully aware what else is in that vaccine. So you know my stand on it, but it is okay to have your stand, because at the end of the day, this is your body and you should be able to make decisions about your body. This presentation is by no means comprehensive. You may need to go and just do a little bit of research, but I hope it has opened your eyes so that when you do research, you know what it is you're looking for. All right. Thank you so much. I will hand back over to our host for the day so they can help with the questions.
Wow, that was absolutely amazing. So much information. There are questions arising, and I like your summary. Level 1, level 2, level 3. 1, we have the skin. Level 2, we have Pac-Man. And level 3, we have the SWAT team security. Okay.
Absolutely.
But it's great. Presentation to do and making drinks and smoothies and teas and things like that for us to boost our immune system. But before we go there, let's address some of the questions in the chat. Okay. Any of the other admins are willing to come and assist, because there is so many questions. Okay, someone asked for the last slide to be put up. I think that was the one where you asked us to take a picture of Dr. Louisa. Not the one, not the last slide, but it was the one before, where you had the images of like the SWAT team and then the guy arresting the next one at level 2 and then level 1. I would put that one as a policeman with blowing a whistle. Okay. That's the one. I think that's the one that the person was after. So hopefully we've dealt with that one. So you need to be quick and get your camera, take a picture of the screen, whether you're screenshotting or whatever. There's been a lot of talk about sauerkraut earlier on in your presentation, people wondering how to make it, where to get it from, etc. I know there are individuals on here who know how to make sauerkraut. I'm not sure if you've responded. If not, we can put it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, now. Evidence shows having the vaccine leads to a cytokine storm. Is it, maybe they mean, is it once affected by the virus, prostaxine, and body defense overreacts and death ensures? Can't remember exact method. Someone saw this on Daystar TV, so I hope you understood that question.
Yeah, well, if you were following the presentation, you will see that when you get a vaccine, you do away with literally ignoring level 1 security. You're bypassing your skin, you're bypassing the acids, you're bypassing the lysosomes. You are putting this virus directly at level 2. So at level 2, your system says, oh my gosh, we didn't even realize there was a breach. We didn't even realize anything was coming. Now that can create a cytokine storm, because now your Pac-Man cells, as you've called them, and other ones, they start creating a response, and then, you know, releasing all these chemicals to say, look, this thing has come in. So the whole point of a vaccine is actually to create inflammation, but you may create that cytokine storm, because now you're not only just putting in the virus, whether it is partially dead or weakened, you're also putting in some chemicals. Remember, when you no other fluid material, there's nothing else that goes with it. So now you're not getting just the virus, you're getting all these other chemicals that come with it. And now they're using nanoparticles, which are smaller particles, which bind very tightly to cells. So your body has to mount a very quick and heightened response to this thing that has been injected into you. So it can create a cytokine storm. And for that, then you would need to then suppress your immune system. But that is not what you wanted to do, because you wanted to activate your immune system. Activate your immune system the way it was designed to be activated. Let somebody give me the coronavirus. As long as I'm healthy, I don't have high blood pressure, I don't have diabetes, I don't have asthma, I don't have obesity, I don't have other chronic diseases, so that my body can then start to, you know, gradually say, okay, level 1, 2, Pac-Man, do your thing, you know, level 3, also do your thing, and I create a response. I hope that that answers, that adds to what that person was saying. I think they were commenting on what they have seen, but it's true. You can create a cytokine storm.
Okay, someone was asking a question about level 1. They said, I have frequent rhinitis and sinusitis. Should I avoid decongestants? Should I line my nasal passage with Vaseline? How can I improve my digestive health? So that's kind of 3 questions there.
Yes, so already you have a problem. That person has a problem with their level 1 security. Their mucosal membranes are not healthy. So they have to find what is causing that constant inflammation of their sinuses, which can easily mean that things can breach. Normally, it can be diet, being on dairy products, as well as, you know, maybe try and avoid gluten. Ensure that you do nasal irrigation with just some salt water. You can buy that. Decongestions, yes, that word. What they do is they interfere at level 2. They're telling your level 2 systems to don't make a big deal of this thing. That's what they're doing, because remember, those chemicals are made to cause this kind of inflammation. As for lining your nasal mucosa with Vaseline, I wouldn't recommend that. Rather get vitamin E oil and use that as drops in your nose after a nasal irrigation. And you need to go on an anti-inflammatory diet, which is a plant-based diet by nature is anti-inflammatory, and avoid things that's causing all of these inflammation in your body, including from your environment, perfumes and curtains, and having lots of blankets and things that cling on to dust in your room, because your body seems to be a bit more sensitive.
Okay, thank you. This is someone asking a question with regards to people with eczema. It says, so those with eczema, should they wear long sleeves or gloves to protect against COVID-19?
No, remember, COVID-19 is a respiratory disease. It does not just attach to any part of the body. It will attach to cells, especially of the respiratory tract. So, but if you have eczema, do contact Shirlene. She can help you with dealing with eczema. Remember, diet is important, but also externally treat your eczema, because it means your barrier, which is your skin, is compromised. And if something else, if another virus or another bacteria or another disease should come, which enter through part of your skin, already you are compromised. But eczema can be treated, yeah? So just remember that it can be treated and not necessarily using steroids. So contact Shalene, Nature's Light, she's there, get her details and she can help you with that.
Thank you. Someone else was talking about using nature for for all over body deodorant condition. They were saying using natural deodorants can help to keep the armpits clear. Slice a lemon and wipe it under the armpit. It's better than any deodorant. So thank you for that advice, Synth. Someone was asking if they could have the details up for joining the WhatsApp group. So I'm asking if that can be added again. We have the women's WhatsApp group, and if you put in the details up, can you please specify which one it is, so we don't have the men joining the women's and the women joining the men's, if you kind of get what I'm saying. So yeah, we have a separate WhatsApp group for the men, a separate one for the women, to encourage you. You can ask specific male related questions, specific female related questions. And we also have the WhatsApp group for biblical health discussions. Okay. Someone was asking about how to modulate the immune system. I know you gave that slide about the different things you can do with the immune system. And a person said, how do you modulate the body with a chronic condition? This was 2 different people, but I think they're dealing with the same issue, modulation of the immune system.
All right, remember I said immune modulation means you need to balance things out. So simple principles is avoid whatever is causing your immune system to be in that state. Like the person with sinusitis, that person may need immune modulation as well. And then what you want to do, the natural things that you can take, like your onions and your ginger and your cayenne peppers. You know what Jonathan shared, the recipes that he shared with, I said, and there are herbs that you can use. I think we would need to have a part 2. Maybe I can have Jason Williams do that part 2 so he can talk about, okay, well, about things to modulate, because he makes tonics that modulate the immune system. But let's have a look as we discuss with the team about having part 2 of this kind of talk, so that it's important. It really is important for everybody to make sure that their immune system is modulated. Yeah.
Okay, just joined by the neighbour's dog. Someone's asking, what about HIV and hepatitis C infection exposure? Is a healthy immune system enough to combat these infections?
Oh yes, absolutely. Remember, with the reason people fear HIV is because the virus infects the T cells. But you know, the body is no respecter of other parts of the body. There are natural killer cells that will kill the infected T cells so that you can make new T cells that are not infected. All right. Hepatitis C, with viruses that infect the liver. If a virus continued to live in your body, it means the body was not able to adequately deal with it. It means your defense was not adequately able to deal with it. It's like having gangs on the streets of London and the police is unable to adequately deal with them. If the police and the defense system get their act together, no offense, but they can actually clear the streets. That's what happens when you have an ongoing hepatitis infection. It means there's something in your immune system that's not adequately dealing with the infection that is there. And lastly, remember, it's possible to be infected with a virus and a bacteria, but not necessarily have disease from it because your system keeps it in check. Does that make sense? So I worked in Cape Town. There's high rates of TB there. I probably have the bacteria of tuberculosis in my lungs, but my immune system is keeping it in check. If at any time my defense should come down, this bacteria is just going to be like, oh, freedom, let's have a party in her lungs and start to cause disease. So even if you have these viruses in your body, they must be kept in check by your system. So hepatitis C and HIV can be by a well-functioning and well-modulated immune system.
Wow, our immune system is, well, it's something we need to look after and support and protect. And if we look after it, it will look after us. There's a lot more questions coming on, but before we take any more, oh, the questions are coming through thick and fast now. But before we take any more, Jonathan, are you almost ready to complete the last bit of your presentation? And there is some talking going on in the background. The voice sounds familiar, but if you are not muted and you need to be, please be aware that somebody can hear, well, we can hear you, okay? All right, so Jonathan, are you ready? If not, I can take some more questions. Okay.
Hi, Sharon. Yes, I can do the finish up what I was doing earlier and perhaps recap for those who are join us late.
Yep. And then if we have time, we can go into the questions at the end.
Okay. Just like to say thank you very much, Dr. Kgomotso, for such a informative presentation. That was really good.
Thank you as well.
Let me see if I can try and share my screen again, Sharon.
You can do all things, Jonathan.
That's right. It's always good to have the wife beside you. Share screen.
It's on the Zoom.
There we are.
Recipe.
Let me go back.
My favorite color,
Why is it not working?
orange. With green, teamed up with green, looks good.
No, there we go.
So just for those who join us late, just a quick recap. So we looked at the different vitamins that would help to boost the immune system. We look at it's necessary to have vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, probiotics, selenium, and vitamin A. These are all essential minerals, vitamins to support and boost the immune system. And the challenge that we're looking at this week is to challenge ourselves to make a immune boosting smoothie or a tea for this week. So we looked at we looked at some of the products that contain these vitamins. We look at goji berry, if everyone can see. We looked at citrus, orange, lemon, and you have the good grapefruit. We looked at those. We looked at something that grow wild here in the UK. If everyone can see. Can everyone see? I'm not sure if you can see. This is
Yes.
elderberry. And we gave you a demonstration how you can make a tea from the elderberry. And this is the result of after pouring the hot water on it. So this is a combination of elderberry and ginger. We will put the recipe up so you will be able to see it. And we looked at the good time that we, as Jamaican, put in our rice and peas. You can use this to make a tea out of it. And this is really good to help to support and boost the immune system. What else did we? Oh, we look at sauerkraut, which Dr. Louisa can speak more to. Good sauerkraut, good probiotics for our gut to maintain a healthy gut. And Charlene earlier showed us, I think she put it in the chat, we have a supplement for turmeric supplement for you, vitamin D, was it vitamin D? Sorry, your probiotics, which I'll share with you just now. Shirley, I placed the information in the chat, so you can find it there. Now, I would like to take the opportunity to demonstrate to you a drink that will also help and support the immune system.
Which one you want to do first?
The banana.
Okay. I'll have to do the screen share a bit. We want her to see you.
Okay. So because I'm struggling to see if you guys are seeing me properly, we can do the screen sharing after. So I'll just show you. So we have a banana. I need my recipe. We will make the smoothie with a banana. So we have one banana. And I'm putting it into this, what's this called?
Blender.
This blender here. And then we're going to be using some lemon. Can you all see me? So we have,
Yes, we can see you, Jonathan.
yeah, we will, like I said, put the recipe up and the quantity that we'd use. So we use lemon. We've got lemon, orange. We've got some turmeric here. So again, the quantity, we'll put it up so you'll be able to see it. So I'm just using a small amount now, turmeric. Then something else that we use a lot of as well, cinnamon. Then you can use a plant-based milk. In this case, instant, I choose to use oat milk. Is it ginger? It was.
Oh yeah.
And a very key ingredient, which I almost forget, is ginger. So I just peel the ginger and so that's it there. So you have your banana, lemon, ginger, cinnamon, and your turmeric. And I will just pause for a bit so I can blend it. So there you have it, a nice immune boosting smoothie. I think you guys should try it. I made one earlier and I've tried it and it's really nice. And I've got one last recipe for you guys this week.
Should I put the screen share on? Screen share.
Yeah, share it while it's prepared.
I'm just going to show you all the recipe so you can take it down. There we go. So you can take the recipe down because that's one of the challenges for this week.
I mean, it's not very regimental. You can tweak it a bit as to your taste as you'd have it. And the last one I'm going to be making, I won't share the benefit of it, but what I would do, I would challenge you guys that this week you do find out the benefits of doing this one. And maybe next week you guys can share with us the benefits. I also ask a question there, whether or not it's a stabilizer or it's a booster. So I'm sure next week you guys will be able to share with us what your research. But this one, we're using okra. Can you see? Fresh okra. Can I have the thing? So we're using fresh okra. And again, I'm going to keep this one. I'm not going to blend this one, but I'll just talk you through it actually. So we're using okra, a carrot, and ginger, and a pinch of turmeric. Now, if you just, now, my wife hates okra, and a lot of my friends also hate okra, but someone passed by the house earlier after I made this one, and he really liked it. So I'm challenging you guys that this week, try it. You may like it. We used to just pick the okra off the tree and eat it. But this, my wife had it earlier and she said it was good. So hopefully you guys can enjoy it as well. Thank you very much. I'll put everything there. I'll just share my screen for a bit so you can see the recipe.
Over to you, Sharon.
Over to you, Sharon.
Sorry, I was just dealing with something in the chat. Okay, so yeah, I'm similar to your wife in that okra and me, we're not the best of friends, but I'm sure if you bring some round to me, Jonathan, some of that smoothie, I can reassess if okra decides to become my friend or not.
Oh, let me put this on.
Believe me, you won't be able to taste it.
However, medicine isn't just about what it tastes like. It's got to be something that's good for you. Have I frozen? Can you hear me still?
No, we can hear you, Sharon.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
Looking forward to seeing what people make in terms of sharing on the WhatsApp groups your experiences of smoothie making and all the other and your homework as well. Yeah, your answers to the homework. Okay, I'm going to add one other piece of homework in. Where does okra grow? Not in my backyard. Okay,
We're just sharing the screen, Sharon. So if anyone want to, take note of the homework and also the recipes. So we will stop sharing in a moment.
Guys, it tastes very nice. It tastes nice.
Okay, someone's asking for the 2 smoothie slides again, so you're doing that.
This is the smoothie one.
Is there a phone number for the women's WhatsApp group?
We can send the link out.
Send the link. Ah, someone's already answered the homework. Eugene. It grows in Sierra Leone. Okay, I'm sure that's one place, and then I'm sure there's others. So yeah, keep going, keep working, keep coming in with your answers. Okay, right now let's. Where am I? Some more questions for Dr. Louisa. Okay, here's one.
Just something as well, Sharon. Just to sorry to interrupt you there. We are advising that if you can obtain, you should as much as possible a plant-based milk. So to your choice, you don't have to stick to oat milk. You can use almond milk, or you can use coconut milk.
Coconut, rice, almond, soya,
hazel.
Hazelnut, that's a good one.
Cashew.
That will check that. That will take away the cashew nut, yeah, and the hazelnut will take away the taste
nice
of
and creamy. Cashew would taste nice.
Okay.
Actually,
right. Going back.
Sorry, Sharon. I've just had a witness. I wasn't sure if Chris was on the call, but Chris actually tasted it earlier because he don't like. Would you like to speak about it, Chris? Did you like it or not?
Yes, I must say, even though I'm not really a fan of okra, it's very refreshing, and because you added the onion as well for sweetness, it tasted very sweet, right? So I could drink that. I can deal with that. Thank you, brother.
Okay. Jamaica, okay, tropical places, Zimbabwe, other places, Grenada. Yes, there's a few answers as to where okra grows. It just doesn't grow in my back garden. Okay, might look tropical, but it doesn't feel it right now. Okay, there was a question about The use of masks. This is an interesting one. I'm not sure if you wish to answer, but let's go for it. What's your comment, Doctor, on the use of masks to prevent COVID-19? If masks are not necessary, what's the best alternative?
I will just stop sharing screen now.
It's just your comments, not necessarily. We're not telling you to break the government laws.
Thank you very much, Sharon, for saying that first. Yes, we're not telling anybody to break any government laws. However, this is what I said. Your body is designed to deal with things. You have a mucous membrane to deal with these viruses, like your flu virus, not just even all the coronaviruses from all these years before that you've been infected with. You've never had to use a mask for them. 87% of people who are infected with coronavirus recover without hospital admission. 6% of people, these are South African statistics, 6% of people who test positive need ICU, and many of them already have chronic other infections. Do you understand? So now if you're going to use a mask, well, your body is already designed to deal with viral infections. Remember, masks create a new barrier, okay? You are rebreathing in your own recycled air. Remember, last week we did fresh air. Masks get in the way of that. You need to make sure that the mask you have is good quality so that you're not breathing in particles from the mask all the time. Because some people, we're just using random masks. If your mask is made of plastic and it's breaking down and it's degrading and you're breathing all of these things in, what harm are you doing to yourself? But the regulation says if you want to be able to buy or sell, you have to wear a mask.
Okay.
Shops, so I can buy and sell. If I had my own garden, I wouldn't need to. I hope that answers the question. We do it for regulations, but for health reasons, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I mean, I know where I work in a hospital, there are conditions that if you come in, you wear a mask. And then you try and social distance as well. Interpret that how you wish. Okay, but the law is the law. Okay, someone else said, I think they kind of answered their own question. If we have asthma, is it better then to work on the condition rather than just focus on COVID? And I think they know the answer, but they're just highlighting that we need to look after the immune system rather than just focusing on COVID. They earlier said, so it's better to increase our health rather than just focus on COVID. Yeah. Okay, I think we've pretty much covered most of the questions. There's some private questions that have been sent in to individuals, and they will be dealt with provided we have your numbers. And just scrolling through, is there anyone else on the admin team that can find any more questions?
I think we may have covered all the questions now, Sharon, and we have come to the, but if anyone wants to unmute and probably ask a question that way, then we're more than happy to take that question.
So that's easier rather than me scrolling through. Someone was asking about the amount of greens they use in their smoothie. Melvina.
But whilst we wait for people to unmute, I can see a hand that's up. We just like to mention that next week we will follow up on this program with Jason Williams, who you might be able to see in the background there chilling. So we will follow up with Jason, and he will be able to go into more detail on the aspect of how to it balance?
The immune system, yeah.
How to balance and build the immune system.
Yeah, and it will be great as well to do, like you said, part 2. So I guess that may well be part 2. So we do have some hands. Okay, I will take, we have Lenovo Galaxy A20e, Carol, Chambers, and Beverly. So in that order, Lenovo, if you wish to unmute, we'll take your question.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the presentation. It is absolutely brilliant. Can I ask about taking anti-inflammatories and things like HRT and the effect of those on the immune system?
Thank you. That's actually a very good question. Anti-inflammatories are against your level 2 defense. Okay, remember. Now you are understanding more what the pills do. So they stop that level 2 defense so that you don't get the discomfort of the pain. Remember, pain is part of your warning system. So you're stopping that. You're not dealing with what caused the inflammation to begin with. So we always recommend that you rather deal with the cause and not stop your body's response to a cause. That's what anti-inflammatories do. They just stop that without dealing with the cause. With regards to hormone replacement therapy, I think we touched on hormonal balances. If your hormone system is not balanced, hormonal system are part of your communication system, meaning also your thyroid can be affected. Your thyroid is important in telling all your other cells how they work and what they're supposed to do. So in all systems are linked together. So if one system is not working, the others have to kind of adjust themselves. In the long term, not directly, it can end up affecting your immune system because it can affect how you feel can affect what hormones you're making, like your stress hormone, cortisol. If your other hormones are imbalanced, cortisol will suppress your immune system. So all systems are linked together. But thank you so much for the question on anti-inflammatories, because a lot of people are on anti-inflammatories. You're stopping your level 2's response. Not a good idea. Deal with the cause and take them for a short period of time if need be, but ultimately deal with the cause of the inflammation.
Thank you very much.
There was a question from Beverly, and then there were 2 hands that I think have been lowered. If you still wish to ask, then go ahead. If not, we'll take Beverly as the last question.
Can I just say, Sharon, that if I'm correct, Dr. Louisa, you do have a Zoom consultation room that you operate. So if the questions are more personalized and gear into a consultation, would prefer for you to have a consultation than, you know, just probably put your personal matters out there.
Yeah, that is true, Jonathan. So yeah, there is that as well. That's another option. You can deal directly with the doctor or someone else on the group, but for consultations, yes. So Beverly, do you still wish to ask your question?
Yes, please. I would like to ask about kefir, and thank you very much for the program, by the way. Thank you, I've learned a lot. Kefir, I understand, well, that's a very good drink with probiotic drink. Can you use the capsules, you know, you buy the probiotic capsules, can you use the stuff inside to make your kefir? Because all the kefirs in the stores are, well, the ones I've seen, are made with cow's milk. So can you use the probiotic from the capsules to make plant-based kefir? Can you hear me?
Yes, I heard your question.
Thank you.
Yes, so kefir is a milk-based probiotic. In South Africa, they use mas, which is fermented milk. There are different ways. There are different ways you can get probiotics. The capsules you can take them orally, but they don't have as much of the probiotics as you need, and it's not the bacteria that's around you. If you do know how to make your own sauerkraut, which is fermented cabbage, that is very powerful. You will have billions of good bacteria from that. And kimchi, in South Africa, we ferment the grain in something called maheu, which is your maize meal, your corn meal, fermented. And the store ones, the problem with the store-bought items is that they can be pasteurized, meaning the bacteria gets killed anyway.
Right.
So you're spending a lot of money and you're not getting the benefit. So either take the capsules on their own, just as they are, you don't need to start anything with them, or find a recipe on how to ferment a vegetable or a grain, making sure that it doesn't become alcoholic.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, sorry, I just muted myself. Before we take one other question from Arbani, I think I said that right.
Well done, you did.
Good try. Dr. Louisa, do you have a number that individuals can contact? So if it's possible for you to leave a number on the chat, then individuals can get in touch with you directly. Would that be okay, Louisa? For your Zoom consultations? Okay, I think that should be fine. So, Arbani, if you could please unmute and then you can ask your question.
Great, thank you for the presentation. It's been really helpful. My wife and I had a question from some of the comments that spoke of ST13. We've heard of this as some stem cell therapy or something like that. We just wanted to find out what are your views on that sort of treatment, on ST30 specifically, but I guess if generally stem cell based treatments.
I think we're out of time, so we'll have to answer that question another time. But seriously, okay, the concept of stem cells is we have, our body has stem cells. Stem cells are the originator cells in our body, meaning if your lung gets damaged and the cells are destroyed, you have these cells that have not committed to becoming any part of the body that then get stimulated by the body to fix the lungs or to become whatever part. Now, a healthy and a normal diet should be able to do that. I've had a look at the product. Personally, I found it very expensive for the people. And secondly, I did not understand the technology as to, does it have plant stem cells that it puts into your body, or does it activate your own stem cells to do what they were designed to do? So for me, I didn't get the answers to that question. And the person who came was somebody who was selling. So I wanted to understand the science behind it, and I have not. So let me not say the product. A lot of people say that it works, but if it has phytochemicals, which are plant-based chemicals, it could be that it's stimulating your own stem cells to do what it was designed to do. Now, if you make these smoothies and you drink them, you should be able to get the same results without quite the hefty price, in my understanding. We've treated people with cancers with phytochemicals from plants without having to resort to that, because we understand that you've got your own stem cells. So if anybody's selling, sorry, but until I see the science that shows me what it is they do, I cannot say otherwise.
Thank you so much. That was a great answer. And yeah, did that deal with your question, Arbani?
More or less, yeah. Look, there's a bit more, but I think we can discuss it next time. I've heard of harvesting of stem cells from fetuses and other horror stories like that. So
okay,
we can discuss that another time.
Okay, all right then. Thank you. Right, so a big thank you to everybody for joining us, and an even bigger thank you to our presenters for coming on and sharing the knowledge that you have. And we look forward to next week's presentation, which, as we've been told, is going to be with Jason Williams and the challenge for next week. So have a great week, everyone. Enjoy making your smoothies. We will keep you informed as to what the recipes are, because I'm aware that not everybody in the WhatsApp group comes on to the show. I've just seen a hand, but it's been lowered. We are out of time, but if you do wish to make a direct question, you can either come onto the WhatsApp group and send your questions to us individually. Dr. Louisa has posted her number in the chat, so you can look at that. And have a wonderful weekend, everyone, what's left of it. And those of you who still have sunshine hours, get out there, take a deep breath, and enjoy the wonderful air.
Yeah, I was
And thank
about
you-
to.
Sharon, sorry, can I just ask? We've tried to use the WhatsApp chat you've given, the link you've given us for the women's WhatsApp chat, and I'm getting messages that the link is either invalid or the link is not available. So I'm not sure. Is there any member of your group you can give us a number to call after Sabbath?
Yeah, sure.
Louisa's.
The same number that was put in the WhatsApp chat, Dr. Louisa, she's one of our admins on one of our admin on the TTI team. So there is a number there. There's also I think another number coming up there.
Just put mine in, Sharon.
Okay, yeah. So Shirley's number, that's a UK, well, it's a mobile number. So yeah, if you wish to do a screenshot or whatever of that number, then we can deal with that. And we'll have all the WhatsApp links on there.
All right, thank you.
RT from India, please, if you can make a note of the number on there, although I will screenshot yours as well. Yeah. Okay, so enjoy the rest of the weekend, everyone. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye, and thank you for all your encouragement as well. Because
Yeah, I
I've seen
suppose,
lots of
Sharon,
messages.
if people like to